Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new Planet Zoo video. Today is very exciting because we've had a new update and a new pack released. This is the first time I've actually been playing the game where there's a new pack out. Obviously I'm still quite new, like I've mentioned plenty of times, but I was very excited to get started with all this. They've got some new mechanics for the game in general, different, and obviously that was base game update, where we have something, I can't remember what it's called, give me 2 seconds. So I've just quickly checked, the name of this is the animal encounter habitat, where I guess it says on the Steam thing, the Steam page, where guests can enjoy a close-up experience with certain animals, including species from the base game and other DLC packs. Once the habitat reaches certain criteria, they will be able to interact and maybe even take a selfie with some of their favourite animals if they're in the mood. So there's quite a few different animals. I'm not going to go through them in this video, but obviously you've probably seen the title. I'm doing the American donkey. That is a new animal from the Barnyard pack, which I'm very excited for, this pack in general. I've always liked farm animals, being from the UK, and also wanting to go on and be a vet. I've always loved animals. There's actually a Tamworth pig, which is the little pinky creamy pig. I used to actually look after them I volunteered at an endangered species farm, like a rare breeds farm, where they had those Tamworth pigs, and they honestly are the cutest little things. I got to look after the piglets and stuff. We've also got some chickens, we've got I think llamas, goats, sheep. We've got quite a lot for this Barnyard update, which I'm very excited to get into. But obviously today's main focus is the donkeys. I also want to quickly say I have started a new zoo for this. I'm trying out something different overall with this build. The name of this zoo is Fawhen Memorial Zoo. So I think I should give a little bit of context behind that. I've had pet chickens since I was I think I was 9 years old. I had 4 chickens altogether, and one of them recently just passed away, like literally not even a month ago. She was 12 years old, so very old for a chicken. I'll also quickly put a photo up on the screen just to show her off, because she was an absolutely gorgeous chicken. But yeah, I kind of wanted to make this little petting zoo sort of in memory of all 4 of my chickens that I've had. Might be quite sad that I love my chickens that much, but you know what, I don't care. I love my chickens, and I cried when my little Angelina died a few weeks ago. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm able to make this zoo, and I'm gonna obviously have to get some chickens and stuff. But yeah, that's the inspiration behind the name of this zoo. I wasn't sure if I wanted to start a new zoo, just because I'm still working on that first zoo, but I think this one, it's going to be a lot smaller than I've got planned with the other zoo, so there's not going to be as many habitats and stuff in this, but I think I'm going to quite enjoy that, at least for the sort of petting zoo vibe, I suppose, of the new update. Just at the moment I'm using this new fence. I believe this is from the Barnyard pack anyway, but I'm using this to sort of make the barrier, because I wasn't really feeling any of the actual barriers, especially for this build. It's going to take a lot of fiddling around to start to understand this visitor gate, but I'm sure I'll get there. This was me just sort of checking if the path looked okay and it didn't look too weird. So my original plan was just to make like a massive stable for them, but I thought these are donkeys. From what I remember, they are quite, like, they're able to live in sort of more arid areas, and upon checking like the species data and stuff, it says that that they are more prone to like desert environment. So I decided to go for the more deserty vibe, and honestly I'm really happy with how it turned out. I also just want to really quickly say thank you so much everyone who watched my bison habitat build. My channel is very small. At the moment I have, I think, 52 subscribers, and my most viewed video was only at 199, which it's a bit annoying that it was so close to 200. But for some reason my bison video now has over 350 views, I think, from when I last checked, and I just really was not expecting that. I'm obviously very proud of that video now. I'm having a bit of trouble exporting videos to like the highest quality. I film at 1080p, but for some reason whenever I export the video it's only at 720p, so I am going to look into how I can get the videos at a better quality. I don't think it's an issue with my computer per se, I think it is an issue with the editing software that I use. But I just really wanted to quickly mention that, because I really appreciate everyone who liked that video, and I had a couple of people commenting and stuff as well, and it just really made us feel like I was sort of doing something right in terms of YouTube. But yeah, anyway, I'm starting to build a little stable anyway. I think obviously the donkeys need shelter where they can go and get away from the people, I suppose. So I did want to make a sort of little stables anyway. This is, again, like I said in my last video, I think it was, a lot of it changes from now to the end of the video. I didn't quite realise how big these walls were. They're very tall. It's a 4-metre wall. I don't know why I decided to do that. I do obviously eventually change that, but it's just trial and error at the moment. I wanted to see what other sort of designs I could come up with, so I'm checking different wall pieces, but I do eventually go back to the wood, as you can see here, but I made it 2 meters instead of the 4 meters. But I wanted to add like a bit more. I didn't want it to just be wood, because it kind of looked a little bit boring. So eventually I do add some stone around the fringe, I suppose you could say the fringe, the bottom part of the wood, just to kind of add a little bit of depth to it, so it's not just like a building with just a wooden building, you know, like a wood shack. But I think the wood looks really effective actually. I was trying to make some pillars to go up the sides, but it just wasn't really working out. As you can see, I've put some ceiling on and now I'm doing the roof. Didn't quite think the roof through, so as you can see here, I'm now making it even smaller, which I definitely don't mind. I think it looks better smaller, because it was just taking too much space, like taking up too much space for the habitat itself. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make it 3 by 1. I think it's 3 by 1. Yeah, 3 by 1. It should be enough space for the donkeys. I also wanted to make like a little viewing area for people walking past, just in case the donkeys did ever go in it. People will be able to look through as well. As you can see here, I'm just trying to figure out the fence and the barrier and stuff, so that we have no donkeys escaping. I don't think that would be too good. But yeah, so that is pretty much the little shelter made for the donkeys. I'm just doing the last final little bits to make it look nice and what's the word, like nice and fleshed out. I actually just remember now that I'm doing this voiceover, there's new like gate structures for the Barnyard bundle, the Barnyard DLC, which I started using for this. and I actually really like them. So you've got like a gate, but you can have it like closed or you can have it open. It's not like a functional gate, I don't think it's functional. You can see it coming up here, but I do really end up liking this. So you have like 3 different parts. You've got the little latch bit, which would close the gate if this was real, and then you've got the bit where the gate actually hangs onto, so it's not just like a bit of metal, it's like actually detailed, and you can, you know, adjust the gate to have it more open, more closed, etc. I went for the open look so that I could make sure the donkeys could obviously still get in and stuff, which is obviously important because this is their shelter. And then I made like a little sort of barrier thing underneath, like on the bottom. A lot of barns have that where they've got to like step over, but now looking back, I'm not sure they're going to be able to get into the shelter, but that should be fine. I should be able to just remove that and they can walk in easily enough. Here I'm doing some habitat enrichment, just to make sure they're in like the right area, otherwise I think it looks just a bit randomly, like sporadically placed if I just kind of plonk them in. I needed to make the habitat slightly bigger, which I didn't think was too much of an issue, since this was the first habitat anyway. I didn't have to like squeeze the animals in. Oh, pardon me, I've been drinking Red Bull today, so I'm a bit burpy. But yeah, I'm just adjusting the barriers as I go. And then I was looking at more of the decoration sort of side of things, because obviously I wanted to have that sort of deserty Western American feel. These are American donkeys, American standard donkeys, I do apologise. So I wanted to kind of make it look a bit Midwestern, I think is the word for that. I'm not too sure. I ain't American, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just kind of sort of filling in the spaces, but not so much where it's going to be overcrowded and stuff. I also decided that I wanted some water. I know that I don't even know if the donkeys are going to swim in it, but I just think it ties it all together. A little bit of shallow water never goes amiss in habitats, especially like a deserty one. There's always going to be like little drinking holes for the habitats and stuff, in the desert and things, I suppose, if that makes sense. But here I'm sorting out the enrichment. The horses and donkeys in real life absolutely love playing with rubber balls, so I'm really glad that I could add one of them for them, and they're definitely going to like it. As you can see, all 3 of them are at the feeder there. This was the next day actually. It was quite late when I was filming the other clips, but I had some fresh ideas and I was going into it like new and rejuvenated, I suppose you could say. So this is where the desert theme really starts to sort of kick in. I didn't want to make obviously too many plants, because too many plants means it's not very deserty, but there was like enough. I've put like enough plants where it's not completely like arid, which I think obviously like the trees the donkeys can use for shade and stuff, so I think it is important to still have that foliage, but obviously not too much where it's not going to look deserty, if that makes sense. I also hadn't realised that there was 2 different variations of the donkey until I had went and like obviously bought them from the trading centre. So I decided eventually I did go cut down to just 2 donkeys. I think 4 was just way too many. So I did cut down to 2 donkeys. I have one brown one, and then the other one's the brown and white piebald one. I think I don't know if it's the same terminology for donkeys, but that's what you call it for horses. And then I realised this gate was too close to the path, so I did end up juggling things around a bit and ended up changing the gate to a different part of the habitat, which I'm really kind of glad that I'd done, to be honest. I think definitely makes the whole thing look a bit better, and it means people can walk in from one gate and out a different gate, so it's kind of have that like flow of people coming from either side, which I think would be quite realistic in a real life petting zoo. You'd have people coming in either way and like walking past each other, if that makes sense. So as you can see, I've put the fence on this side. I keep forgetting what it's called, the guest gate or something. Habitat guest gate, I'm not too sure. But the new gate, that is, I think that one's available for everyone as well, but I could be wrong. That might just be in the Barnyard bundle. DLC, I don't know why I've got Sims 4 on my mind. Barnyard pack DLC, yes. So I've managed to sort the pathing out. I really like this sort of log style with the terrain paint underneath. I think it looks really natural, and it makes it easy for obviously the donkeys to walk across, because if there was like wooden or like stone, I don't think it would be very comfortable for the donkeys, like in a realistic setting. So I like the sand going through the path. I think it adds a little bit of flair, you know. Once again, I'm just adding like the basic stuff that the donkeys are going to need. I forgot that you can actually get like a water trough, but I think honestly, looking back now, I should have probably stuck with the small one, but I ended up going for the bigger one for some reason. I mean, I suppose it does fit because it's made out of like rock, I believe, but either way. Now I'm doing like the outside, and I spent quite a lot of time on this actually, like building the outside up with plants. Basically I lined each little area that doesn't have a path with these aloe vera plants, and then like filled that little section in, and I think it just added a bit extra depth once again to it. Then I forgot to do the rest of the path, so I had to go back and do that. But yeah, this thing, it added a bit more fullness to the habitat without directly being in the habitat, and yeah, I was just really happy with this. So I spent quite a bit of time doing this, placing each individual plant and stuff. Then I was like, I might as well add some cactus, a couple more trees. Obviously not too much where it's going to be overcrowded and look a bit janky, I suppose is the word you could say. But just adding these little plants, I think, and these little details just really bring a build together. I absolutely adore the barrel cactus. Like, I love them so much. I just think they're such a nice building item, like natural item, you know. I also decided to add some rocks just because it's a desert, it's going to have rocks, etc, etc. And these little pink plants, which are so adorable. Pink is my favourite colour. But yeah, that is we are close to the end of today's video. I'm surprised I've actually talked this long. I'm usually not very good at keeping on talking, but yeah, I just want to say thank you so much if you've watched this far. I've got a little compilation again at the end so you can see the full build and stuff. But yeah, I appreciate you watching this far. Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, you can comment as well. I try and reply to the comments like as quick as I can. But yeah, that is the end of today's video. I've got a few more habitats planned, so I look forward to showing you them. But for now, I'm going to head off and enjoy the end bit of the video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye.